Hello again, guys. I'm back. So, welcome to yet another speed building video. I thought I was gonna be able to upload this build at the same time with my previous video, my first stop motion speed build, but unfortunately I wasn't able to finish it because life happened. But here we are. Welcome to the Fairy Pods. Okay, actually, I just wanted to create a suspended house like a tripod for this one. But I somewhat got this idea as it looks kind of magical and playful to turn it into a compound of fairy houses or fairy pods. Back in my childhood days, I really like fairies. Not really fairies, but fairy tales. I like reading books. So, some of my favorites are the classics: Rapunzel, Peter Pan, and The Beauty and the Beast. And I remember imitating Rapunzel, imagining that I have a very long hair like her. And then I have watched the Peter Pan movie a lot of times. I have memorized the scenes and their lines. And then I pretended to have that pixie dust and pretended to fly. Those happy, carefree, and stress-free days are what I miss the most in being a child. And in that kingdom, I don't think about what tomorrow may bring, or I just forget about sadness and any problems easily. Those days are so precious. So, going back to the build, just a moment of drama there, right? So, this lot is in Willow Creek. I like how in Willow Creek the lots are surrounded with lush greeneries and fresh waters. And there's even a lighthouse that is visible from this lot. I think this place really suits the build, and you have seen in the intro cinematics that the environment plays a big role for the beauty of this build. And I think that also applies in other builds and also in real life, of course. So this build will be like a compound. There will be 3 pods here. Each pod can accommodate 1 to 2 persons depending on the bed that you will place. But for this, I just placed a single bed. So this build can accommodate 3 to 6 Sims in total. You can create 3 households for this build because each pod is like a different house. You can just change the color or theme of the furniture pieces in each pod to represent different household, and I think it will be fun. For this video, I just went for the basic white theme to neutralize the design. Actually, this build is now up in the gallery. You can just check the details in the description box below. You'll find the link there. I'll try to recreate the interiors and assign different themes and personality for each pod. I want to see what you'll be able to create too. So don't hesitate to download it and redesign the interiors. You can also change the color of the facade or exterior of this build to fit the interior much better. I'll wait for your builds, okay? So let me just explain the main planning and design of this house. I imagine the sim that will be living here as an artist. She likes to paint, she likes to sculpt, write, and read books, and play and compose music. She has all the artistic traits, basically. She's an artsy sim. So this house has skill-building items for your artistic sim. If you have the realm of magic, as these are fairy pods, you can create a magical sim and play it here. I think it will be perfect. And as always, this build is just the base game. And I just added an item from that free holiday stuff pack. And I didn't choose any custom content, so you can easily find this in the gallery. And for the flow of the first floor of this house, it is just an open planning. Actually, it is an open air space to signify the connection with the outdoors, and it looks better this way. So the plan is the necessary living, dining, and kitchen area. Actually, the dining and kitchen is like a combined space because of the limited space. And I added a reading area in there for the Sims activities and hobbies. And the second floor houses the sleeping area and skills area. And also the toilet and shower. Don't worry about the functionality of this build. I test played this and everything is playable, so no worries. As for the main access to this house, you can just teleport your sim or you can place some stairs. But for this video, I didn't because I wanted to make the design very slick and clean looking. And I want to make the illusion that it is really suspended or hanging like a tripod. The clutter and decor for this interior is just minimal or none at all. Just some plants to liven up the space, and I like the plant boxes that are from the debug items. And I like the way that one plant box fits in that fireplace area as if it was made for it. And in my architecture college days, there is this activity that we call an esquisse, which is a French term of the English word sketch. In this activity, you will be given an allotted time. Usually, it is 4 hours max to finish an entire design, like a house or a commercial building or a restaurant or a hotel. As your studies progresses from first year to a higher year, the projects or tasks that are given to you will get bigger and more difficult and complicated. I'm telling you this because for this build, I created it like an esquisse. Based on my recordings, it took me, almost 2.5 hours to finish this. And maybe I spent 30 minutes at most conceptualizing and putting my ideas together. And for a design, first, you have to do your concept and planning. You can sketch schematic or bubble diagrams to be able to come up with a very efficient and feasible design solution for the given task. For example, in designing a house, first, you have to know who are the occupants. What is the personality or what are the needs of your occupants? And simultaneously, you have to check the site or lot and make an analysis. It is very important. Then, you can proceed into creating a concept or solution out of the informations you have gathered. It is basically like a science experiment or a scientific method because architecture is not only an art, it is also science. Most of the time, I always start with floor planning and then I'll proceed to elevate the exterior design. But there are times, especially with commercial buildings or public buildings, that I start with the exterior design or the elevation and the floor plan follows it. Sometimes when I start with the floor planning, as it goes along, I have already thought of the exterior. By then, I just mix and match my ideas until I come up with something that is satisfying for me and that I think is suited for the design problem. Conceptualization can take a lot of time, but then the building process will be much faster because you have thought things through beforehand. Like conceptualization can take 80% of your time, then the building process itself is just 20% because there will be less errors. Also, sometimes an idea just pops up when you are in the middle of planning or when you are about to finish your design. It is when you have to decide, which is very important. If you still have enough time to add that, to revise your work, you can do so. Or you just have to proceed with what you have done because of the time constraint. So it is like a reaction time kind of thing. And here you will see that decision making is really a critical part in designing. So yes, this is very useful, especially for impromptu projects and also for on-the-spot competitions. Going back to the game, for the trees, I use these slender and beautiful trees just like in one of my builds, the A-frame tree house. I really like the way it looks. It is very artsy and very whimsical. And to add to their beauty, I wanted some plants or algae to crawl around their trunks. So I got this idea to place this. I think they are Tuscan pines, like they are growing around the bodies of these trees. And for this waterfall, I tried to create one myself, discovering the technique by my own. And I'm proud of it. To make a waterfall, I used the water emitters from the fountain tub. You will see here that I first made two separate pools that are the same height. But after I placed the water emitters, I raised or pulled up the other pool to elevate it and make it look like the water is coming from it. You have to remove the part where you place the water emitters from the pool before you elevate it to prevent the water emitters from following the elevation of the upper pool. After you have pulled it up, by then you can replace that part of the pool with the pool tool. And just add some rocks to cover up the pool foundation and you're good to go. Voila! A waterfall! I also placed a fish pond here. I haven't test played it, but I think it works. So you can also add other outdoor activities here like the jungle railings, I think, and the other things like lounge chairs or a barbecue area for your sim. Your sim can actually swim in this water feature because it is actually a pool, not only a fountain. So this one is functional. And for the landscaping of this, I wanted to add some color because this is a fairy and magical compound, but I still want it to be in my style. So I placed these flowering plants and coastal grass that have these less saturated colors in them. That is why I achieved this less vibrant looking landscaping that I always want. I wanted each pad to look like they are bulbs that are shining brightly at night, so I placed an ample amount of lighting fixtures to achieve that. I wanted to add some lanterns in the trees, like in my treehouse build, but I think the trees are illuminated enough by the tree pods. To add a magical lighting in this build, I placed these Christmas light trees. This is the only item that I use that is not from the base game. It is from the holiday stuff pack, which is free, so I think each one of you has it. So there will be no problem downloading this. I like the way it looks and it adds so much to this fairy pods build because they look like some fairies or fireflies floating up and flying around this build. I really like it. So guys, I think this is done. Just some finishing touches and I hope to see you again next time, okay? Watch out for my next builds and I have a mini tutorial vid coming up. I hope you can learn a lot from that. If you have any thoughts and suggestions, feel free to drop them below. If you like this build, please click on the thumbs up button. And if you loved it, hope you can subscribe and help me grow this little paradise. So, enjoy the whimsical cinematics. Have a great day. Bye-bye.